Can we talk a little bit about Daniel
DC?
Cormier?
I know, right?
Who now, again, I've said it from day one, is to me the most impressive fighter to ever step in the octagon for what he's able to do. And now he beats Stipe Miocic.
More than Jon Jones.
Yes, more than Jon Jones, and I'll dial on that for a second.
I did an hour rant on this on the show.
And I'll tell you why. But here's why I got Daniel Cormier. Number one, if you look at his stature, if you look at what he's working with, he is not what you would consider a specimen. He's not 6'4". He's not dealing with long reach. He's not dealing with all that stuff. But his ability to put you on your back, to find a way to win, to break you down, whatever it might be. And then here he comes and takes Stipe Miocic, who's starched every heavyweight he's come up across, except for Junior Dos Santos.
No,
a lot of people haven't.
And Struve, yeah.
And Struve. But Stipe Miocic, who has defended his title, I think, more successfully than almost anybody else,
3
right?
times.
Okay.
More than anyone you
It's
see.
a big deal. And then Daniel knocks him out in the first round.
I know.
And all I can say is, and he's such a class act. Now, here's the asterisk with Jon Jones. Do I think Jon Jones is, in many ways, the best fighter to ever step in the octagon, talent-wise? I do. Has he beaten Daniel Cormier decisively twice? Yes. Is he a better fighter? If you look at those two fights, you have to say yes. A couple asterisks. One, we can talk about PEDs. That has to factor into the conversation.
It'd be huge, yeah.
Has to factor in the conversation. I don't know to what degree. But also, I feel like Jon, how many fights has Jon had? How many fights has DC had? DC's never lost but to Jon Jones. And sometimes, by the way, you could also say styles make fights, and Jon Jones has his number. Right? Or no?
That doesn't work in
Does Jon beat,
that hurts your
Let me ask you this.
So I'm on board with you.
So let me ask you this.
DC's the GOAT.
Okay,
but
so
that doesn't work when he
does
goes.
Jon
he just has his number.
Does Jon do that? Here's a better question. I know MMA math is tricky, but does Jon do that to Stipe Miocic?
Yes, they both beat him.
He knocks him out like that? I
think he beats him.
He beats him.
I don't. We've never seen Jon at heavyweight because DC at light heavyweight isn't a knockout artist. DC with that extra
pounds. We've seen Jon
pounds,
fight somebody his length though in Alexander Gustafsson, and it was tough. So
he did 3 weeks of training camp.
Okay, but to see him fight,
DC's never been a knockout artist, ever. He
just grinds you down.
You know, he knocked out Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Other than that, he's really, you know.
So you have DC as GOAT.
Well, I have DC as GOAT because if we're going to do GOAT, you can't with greatest of all time. You can't test positive for any performance enhancing drugs. As soon as you test, I'll give you, if you test once, all right, man, shit happens. You saw super strict. I'll still let you in my lane.
Okay.
You test twice, there's obviously something fishy going on. You're out. So Anderson Silva and Jon Jones are out. So who's left? George St. Pierre, Mighty Mouse, and DC. So the argument's between those three, and I gave DC the nod there.
I do too. I have to.
But if Jon, you know, it's not even an argument if Jon doesn't test positive for those stuff. You know, Jon.
You got to give it to Jon.
100%. But when you test positive for PDs and coke, you're out.
What, like, so in boxing, Muhammad Ali lost a lot.
Also, the only time we've ever seen Jon clean that we know for a fact was against OSP. He looked like shit in that fight.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
So I think DC-Jon at heavyweight.
You want to see that?
That's the fight. That's the biggest fight.
Does Jon come up and do that?
Oh, for sure. Jon wants that. Yeah, hell yeah, Jon wants that. Because DC's doing everything that Jon wanted to do. He's living Jon's life.
If DC beats Jon, yeah, that's true. If DC beats Jon
at heavyweight, it's his last fight no matter what. The problem with DC is, you know, they want to do that Brock Lesnar fight. Brock can't fight till next year. He's out till next year.
Why?
Because his suspension and USADA pool stuff. So he's out till next year.
I don't want to see.
DC says he's retiring in March.
Good. I don't want to see Brock fight.
It's happening.
You know, I mean.
It's happening.
All right. It's going to happen.
I was happy for DC, though, man.
Yeah.
If you're a DC fan, you want to see him fight Brock. You want to see him make money. And that's the easiest fight he can have right now.
That's real money, yeah.
You fight your entire life to get to that point for those mega fights.
He's so fucking impressive.